Over Bernanke's future could be behind another down day on Wall Street. The Dow fell almost 217 points. The S&P 500 lost 24 3/4. The Nasdaq dropped 60.5. President Obama today tried to turn attention away from a week full of disappointing developments and onto the economy. But will his populist message stem a political tide that seems to be turning against him? We report, you decide. Here is White House correspondent Wendell Goler.
In Elyria, Ohio, the president aimed to refocus the national debate on jobs, but he made clear the Democrats' loss of their critical 60th vote in the Senate hasn't changed his legislative priorities.
After the Massachusetts election, people in Washington were all in a tizzy, trying to figure out what this means for health reform. Is he weakened? How's he going to survive this?
The last time Mr. Obama was in the county as a candidate, the unemployment rate was 6.9%, and he promised to bring it down. Now the rate is 9.5%, and the drywall plant he'd visited is closed. On this day, the president toured a factory that makes baseball and football helmets and a community college wind turbine lab. And he pushed for a $174 billion jobs package now before the Senate. But Ohio Republican Jim Jordan suggests that might be throwing good money after bad.
They came out of the gate with their $750 billion, quote, stimulus plan that was supposed to keep unemployment at 8%. And yet we know today in Ohio it's over 10%.
For Jordan, a stimulus package that failed to cap the jobless rate and a health insurance reform proposal he characterized as a government takeover are both symptoms of a failed approach.
And all that got us was the $1.4 trillion deficit, the $12 trillion debt, and no job growth. That's the problem. And frankly, that in the health care bill, that's why you saw the voters in Massachusetts on Tuesday do what they did.
Answering questions after his speech, Mr. Obama denied the big government charge.
We don't need big government. We need smart government.
And he addressed the legislative deal-making that soured some Americans on the health reform debate. Extra Medicaid funding to win Mary Landrieu's vote, called the Louisiana Purchase. The same kind of deal for Nebraska's Ben Nelson, dubbed the Cornhusker Kickback.
They're looking out for their constituents a lot of times. But when you put it all together, it starts looking like just this monstrosity.
The politicking, he says, makes people fearful, but the goal is still important.
There are things that have to get done. This is our best chance to do it. We can't keep on putting this off.
The president's aides say there are lots of talks going on here and on Capitol Hill, but they won't suggest how he might find compromise with Republicans on health reform when he couldn't find middle ground between Democrats in the House and Senate. Brett?
Wendell, thank you. There were further indications today just how bleak the outlook is for anything resembling the current version of health care reform.